The content featured in the following broadcast is purely for educational information purposes. It is based on real-life experiences and POV. Do not contact anyone featured or referred to in this video.
And please do your own research.
No matter where I've gone in the world, I score. I'll show you tonight. As soon as we get in this pub, I'm going to record it for you. I've gone to Qatar, bruv. I've gone to Doha. It's called gear of the sesh while they're all praying.
As the fame and the money started rolling in again, his behaviour changed. You know, he thought he was better than us. He thought he didn't need us. He would have yes men around him. He preferred to hang out with them. We weren't doing drugs. I'm sure the people he was hanging around with were. And the attitude just became very nasty, misogynistic.
In this video, we're going to look at TommyRobinson, who along with Nigel Farage and Andrew Tate were accused of inciting the UK riots. Well, some people think of him as a hero, but it turns out he's a massive cokehead and a fraudster. And he scams his followers for donations and the victims he claims to be fighting for to fund his lifestyle, while pretending to be a journalist fighting for freedom of speech. And I'm only doing that because it shows up who the channels are that have been giving him a platform. And they're part of the same operating system, which is funded by private equity and banks. And it's coming out of Israel. And here on YouTube is funneling advertising money back to the owners of YouTube. But that's for an upcoming video on another day. So I don't know too much about TommyRobinson, and that's because I try to avoid people like him and channels like GB News, Talk TV, and all the other right-wing propagandists that pop up in my recommended. And that's because I've come to find out that kind of content is being pushed in the algorithm.
So, yeah. So I had loads of DMs the next day. It was literally something like 1.2 million views of a channel that I posted it to, which had like 3 subscribers, like 2 friends or something. So I didn't really expect that to happen, but I guess it showed that the algorithms were just absolutely blasting that kind of stuff all over the place.
According to Kaelan Robertson, one of his former filmmakers, who's gone on to be a producer for the likes of Alex Jones, videos he helped him make were tailored for the echo chamber that is often created by social media networks like YouTube to keep you watching, so they're deliberately faking the drama to push up the views. And according to this woman who used to work for him in his early days when he pretended to be on the side of Muslims, she was bullied and harassed by his fans when she criticised his involvement in a previous attack on a mosque in Finsbury Park.
Instead of focusing on the fact that a Muslim grandfather lost his life in that attack and taking any responsibility, Tommy was just in PR damage control mode, and I had a massive go at him. I remember sending him this like mad voice note, just like, what the hell are you doing? This is disgusting. You know, we need to take responsibility. Is this not what you accuse the Muslim community of, you know, of blaming it on a lone wolf? It's nothing to do with us. And yet here you are doing that and someone's lost his life. And yeah, he laughed at me and said, oh, the media are always the enemy. They're always the enemy. You've always got to remember that. And it just got to the point where, you know, it just was not good. And then it all came to a head in 2018. We had an event in central London called the Day for Freedom.
So that event was paid for by far-right organisation, the Middle East Forum. I bet his followers didn't know that. He apparently just spent the money on himself.
He invited a Muslim chap to come and give a speech. I think he then realised that his football lad contingent were going to attack this man if he got on stage. And so what did he do? He told me to go and disinvite the man who turned up, who then got attacked by Tommy's supporters. So I had to face these people up close. I tried to protect the Muslim gentleman as much as I could. I got hit by one of the supporters in the process. And after that, Tommy blamed me, because I'm obviously a lefty, and set his fans on me. So I've had 6 years of TommyRobinson fans stalking, harassing, death threats, and then some.
These are former employees, both taken in by him and helping him make sure the videos go viral, before apparently realising it was a scam. Quote, we realised that he was withdrawing huge amounts of donations in cash from a business bank account and just giving it to his friends who were selling him and who he owned for nights out.
Tommy, before you start asking for money, explain to people where the money has gone. You've got money, boy. If you want to make change, use it.
It's the principle, isn't it? I've given a tenner. I don't really like the idea that's gone up, say, Danny Tomo's nose or whatever.
This is a
scum. This is a pyramid scheme, top to bottom.
Come on, people.
It's not too difficult to find out he has the longest criminal history ever for violence, fraud, stalking, harassment, perverting the course of justice. It goes on, and ironically gets arrested for using false documentation to enter another country, aka being an illegal immigrant. What a hypocrite. He also states that he puts Israel first, not England, which isn't that what the riots were meant to be about? And that's because he's funded by the people there who are profiting from what's happening in Gaza.
I believe, my definition when I've looked at that in the dictionary is Israel first.
It means Israel first?
Yes.
Okay. If there was a war and it kicked off, I would be there on the front line fighting for Israel.
Aside from the fact that he looks high and he's stated the opposite, like all good scammers, he states that I do not use cocaine and SCX workers. He's always worn designer clothes and his money comes from building, property developments and tanning shops. But the thing is, none of those things make money anymore, Tommy, because of this cost of living financial situation created by the very people that fund you, such as Robert Shillman, who gave him the rebel media position, David Horowitz, whose foundation sponsors anti-Islam propaganda, and there are documents and photographs to support all of this. Only a week before the riots, someone paid for this little setup in the middle of Parliament Square, where Tommy let people come on and promote their social media accounts.
Come here, lads. Where's the live camera there? Tell people who you are and where they can follow you.
Over Stan, is it?
Go on, Stan, it takes his time.
Someone funded his recent podcast series, that no one wants to be associated with, least of all the owner of the villa where it was recorded, British billionaire Philip Day, although he lives in Dubai, who made his fortune off selling off bankrupt businesses like Peacocks. And you got to ask yourself why everyone who works with him wants to distance themselves, and how his profile stays so high, and how he's always in the media. And it's the mainstream, like the Daily Mail, like the BBC, who can't stop talking about him.
Many believe his arrest and imprisonment is unfair or illegal. So, is it?
BBC, get your act together. You're the ones giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's an activist for freedom of speech, when you must know that he's funded and connected to terrorist operations. And he gets more coverage than most people, so make it make sense. Brand Tommy indeed. Or are you doing it for the clicks and views? Or are you funded by them as well? And the Daily Express, only in 2018 when there was a parliamentary investigation, said past newspapers had been downright offensive and contributed to an Islamophobic sentiment in the media. In 2013, they launched a crusade against new European Union rules on migrants from Bulgaria and Romania. But they're still going on about Tommy Robinson sunning himself on holiday. How do we know they're not paying him for the photos? Sky News. British people seething with anger over uncontrolled immigration. What a big fat lie. And if anyone is, they're being told to think like that every day in the newspapers. I don't understand how anyone can think that Tommy Robinson cares about anyone in this country. He's clearly only out for himself, and he's the definition of a sellout. He's posing in a Mossad t-shirt, the intelligence agency of Israel, that are super secretive and apparently control the world's intelligence systems. And no one's got a problem with that. And like I said in my last video, Serco, who profit out of the migrant situation and the prison service, own a publishing intelligence service. And I don't see any of this getting reported on. But Tommy Robinson wants to pretend he needs freedom of speech. He's a liar. He's been shown to be faking stunts for the cameras, for the algorithm. How is that freedom of speech? It's suppressing the information that we should be knowing about. And if anyone's donating to him believing he's going to do anything for them, they're sadly mistaken. And as for his claims that he's being silenced, just look at how much press he's getting at the moment. His little collaborators, you don't think they're in on this? You let me know in the comments. James English, Jordan Peterson, Piers Morgan, Tanks, Daily Mail, Sky News, The Telegraph, BBC News, Katie Hopkins, Getting There, Oxford Union, Sean Atwood, The Sun, talk TV, etc., etc. People that want to promote hatred as a form of free speech, you are doing the opposite and giving authorities an excuse to make more restrictions. And remember, these people own the prison service and intelligence, and they're controlled by shareholders and the banks. It's called an agenda. So go do some research, treat other people how you would like to be treated, and like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.